If you see one of your neighbors out in their yard this winter, especially that one that rivals yours, don't freak out. You're not missing something. There's really nothing they can be doing now to get ahead of you before spring. That's if you've already done what you were supposed to do. We're right here, the beginning of December. We're not quite to the astronomical start of winter, which arrives around the third week of this month, but meteorologically, the winter season has begun. It runs from December 1st all the way through February. In this video, we're going to time travel back to September 1st, the meteorological start to fall, which runs all the way through November. These are the three most important months to prepare your lawn for winter and a better start in spring. Now keep in mind, I'm in the transition zone in northern Arkansas with bermudagrass. The importance of the season and tasks stays the same no matter where you're at, but the timing will differ slightly. But Travis, I'm not sure if I did everything. Okay, let's hit rewind and see where you stand. But you gotta promise me though, that you're not gonna freak out if you left something off. Trust me, it's not the end of the world. Let's start with what you should have done, number one. You should have fertilized for the final time in September. I timed my last yearly application around the first of the month. Don't tell anyone. I didn't apply fertilizer at all this past fall. I woulda, but life happens and sometimes things in the lawn don't. In fact, I only applied one application for the whole season, and that was all the way back in spring. That round of fertilizer should have been lighter than all others, around a half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet, usually 4 to 6 weeks before your expected first frost. Pushing too much growth late in the season with bermudagrass is not recommended and can lead to other problems in the spring, like spring dead spot. You should have also applied a pre-emergent herbicide. Pre-emergents prevent weeds, while post-emergents kill them. My fall application of pre-emergent typically goes down around the middle of September. This application is so important in preventing winter weeds and annual grasses, some of which don't even pop up until late in the winter or early spring. We touched on this topic in more detail a couple videos ago. Check the pinned comment to see if you should still go ahead and apply one. While we're talking weeds, I want to mention a coulda, not a shoulda. You could have used a post-emergent weed killer to control broadleaf weeds that had already started to creep in. Now, it's not my preference to attack this in the fall, as my weed pressure is usually light and my pre-emergent application keeps them at bay. But if you're just fed up with those dandelions hanging around, zap away. Okay, back to another shoulda. You should have controlled your leaves. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone, and I'm sure you've heard a handful of different opinions surrounding this chore. But here's how I'd tackle it. If you have a heavy leaf drop every fall, frequently maintain the yard with your mower by mulching the leaves back into the lawn before it gets out of control. Now, if it's already out of control, you may have to remove as much as possible to make it manageable to mulch the remainder of the leaves back in. This leaf control process may bleed over into the winter for some of the folks further south. I don't have a lot of leaves, but when I do, I mulch them back in for the free nutrients. I'm also not afraid to leave a light layer across the yard for an extended period of time. It's not going to do any damage. But if you do have a heavy layer, you run the risk of smothering the grass and causing other unwanted issues. That's one reason why you don't want to leave them. But more importantly, you don't want to leave them because too many leaves can become a source of stormwater pollution. They can clog drains or decompose and flood nearby waterways with nutrients that'll cause algae blooms in summer. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you missed any, you'll get them next year. Fast forward to now so you can feel confident taking it easy until spring. The bermudagrass calendar for winter is quite simple and straightforward. Dormant bermudagrass does not need to be cut. Only mow if you've overseeded with ryegrass and follow your standard mowing procedures. Just like we talked about in the last video, you do not need to fertilize. Here again, unless you overseeded with rye. Apply a half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet in December and February. Rain and snow are usually sufficient enough to supply you with water. Only irrigate if you've overseeded or laid sod and the weather doesn't do it for you. If it's warm enough, you can use a weed killer to control winter broadleaf weeds. Same as in the fall, it's not my preference to do this in winter. Most of the weeds in my lawn will die off or go dormant in the cold ice and snow, so I'll hold off and do this until it warms up in spring. Bundle up, my friends, and rest easy knowing it'll be spring before you know it. And I'll be back with another video before you know it too. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.